how that generated the kind of things that then favor the emergence of. So that's what I'm reading now. And so it is clear that what we need is governments to understand that the science and the economy show the way. What we need is the political will to take the decisions that are necessary in regulatory frameworks, in financial aspects, in other policy dimensions. Governments need to take the decisions not to be an obstacle to the natural trend to accelerate the renewables transition. Obviously, the administration in itself is an obstacle, but there are other. The government in the US doesn't control everything. It is a market economy and a decentralized country, with the states having enormous powers in relation to economic and social issues. And one thing that I am sure is that the investments that will now be made to discover new deposits of fossil fuels will be totally lost. So decisions in favor of the expansion of fossil fuels in the US or anywhere else will be just the waste of money. I'm perfectly convinced that we will never be able in the history of humankind to spend all the oil and gas that was already discovered. And that the private sector is understanding the economics. And so, obviously, people do not want to lose money. People do not want to make investments in what will become stranded assets. And I believe that even in the United States, we will go on seeing a reduction of emissions. I have no doubt about it. Because climate change is still accelerating. And we need a drastic reduction of emissions in order to be able to keep temperature rise within 1.5 degrees. We are on the verge of losing this battle. And not all scientists are saying 1.5 is dead. The carbon budget is an important indicator. It's not the only indicator. I think the 1.5 is close to the decisive point, which means that it is still achievable, but we need a dramatic reduction of emissions now. And without that dramatic reduction of emissions now, the 1.5 degrees indeed will become impossible to maintain. I think we are on the right side of history. So we need to fight, and we need to mobilize civil society, the youth, and the areas of the private sector and the governments that have understood that we must indeed win this battle. So everything is interlinked. Climate change, artificial intelligence, geopolitical divides, the problems of inequality and injustice in the global economic and financial system, all these things are interlinked, and we need to make sure that we make progress in all of them at the same time.
Thank you so much.
The history of Naples, not the origin. It's not the origins from the point of view of the guy that created it. No, it is how the evolution of the society makes that